G'day champions, Shark Eyes back once again, and today we're going to be looking at this exclusive Night Force set featuring Falcon and Quarrel. And we kind of have to involve this as well. So let's rip into it. Alright, so you've got a look at the front here. We'll get into that more momentarily. The set is 138 in the line. We'll have a quick look at the back. Yep, some nice art. They are in the mines of Energon, apparently. And you got a few items here to look at, but don't worry about that. Let's do a quick goosey gander at their ratings. Sorry, I just knocked the flag and everything is rocking. Alright, so starting with Falcon. He's got the exact same skill set as the normal classified release. And he's a level 3 in, wait for it, trigger warning here folks, Vanguard. Not to be confused with the vehicle, which is not a tank. And then you've got level 3 in light weapons, level 3 in medic, and level 3 in linguistics, which I can't recall if we've seen before. Maybe we have. Moving on to Quarrel. She is a level 3 in covert ops, a level 3 in arrow weapons, a level 2 in martial arts, and a level 3 in infiltration. Now, all of that ties in with her original file card, but we'll get to that in a moment. So I'm going to open this up and get these guys out of this box, and we'll go through all of this stuff. Okay, I don't normally do in the bubble sort of looks, but just for the sake of this exercise, I just want to sort of go over a couple of things quickly. So pretty much everything in this is reuse. Okay, so you've got the range Viper weapons, you've got the shotgun and backpack from the original classified Falcon. You've got the nods from Tunnel Rat, the torches from Tunnel Rat, Scarlet M16, also the one that came with Juke, Scarlet crossbow loadout, and these knives and the sidearms, pretty sure we've seen before, can't remember where. You get an extra set of hands with Quarrel, but we'll get into that more so in a minute. Alright, so that's that out of the way, let's get them out of here. Alright, so a little bit about Quarrel. She first released in '83 in the Palatoy Action Force line and was a direct reuse of the V1 Joe Scarlet figure. So with that in mind, I'm just trashing the joint here, don't mind me. If you look at this figure, you may recognize it, that the buck is pretty much the same as the retro Scarlet. There is a slight difference. She's got the secondary here with the knife sheath here and the pauldron on the arm there. But everything else is Scarlet. Quiver, legs, side sheath here. She's got the shuriken on the arms, but in silver, which is a nice touch. And yeah, the good thing about this is that we can pop this head off, and this looks fantastic straight away. I can just tell. You have yourself a Night Force Scarlet. So that's one awesome element of this set. So we'll just go back and pop the other head sculpt on, and we'll have a good look at the figure. Might as well start there with that. Now, the first images of this face sculpt weren't great, but it's actually not too bad. And if you look here, it's pretty cool. She's got like a earpiece. That's a nice touch. Yeah, I don't mind the head sculpt at all. And if you look at the original figure, it's, you know, it's in line with that. You can go and have a little Google after this if you're not familiar with it. One thing you need to know about Quarrel is that originally she came with this in the UK Palitoy release. Now, obviously, we've just recently had the Night Force Shockwave set that comes with the RAM, and you can obviously put her on that and have a Night Force 1, or if you've got this, you can pop her on there and away she goes. Because she is an expert driver. She competed in the motorcycle GP in Britain, and a quote from her file card originally is that she can drive anything that moves. So we'll just have a little look at her articulation. This arm isn't that great. The pauldrons sort of limit the articulation. Joints in the forearms and the ankle swivels are fine. She can look up, she can look down, and a full rotation in the head. Oh, that leg, I just noticed something there. That's moving good, but look at that. See that? There, sorry, I was looking at the wrong spot. That just happened when I did that. Oh, that's not good at all. That is not good at all. Oh, that one is super stiff. All right, so I'm not going to try and mess with those. They will require some heating up. But yeah, she's a bit limited on that front. But you know, not our first rodeo, is it, folks? So let's get her all geared up. I think this is a nice addition in this color. Is it straight? No. The barrel's a tad bent. But this would also have looked good with the Retro Stalker. And we didn't get one of these, so you could always give it to him. We've got the knife here. We've seen this one before. Nothing to write home about. We'll just go ahead and bang that in here. It's the same as the Retro Scarlet one. Now, there is another knife here. I haven't got it out yet, but I'll get to that in a minute. Extra hands for punching. Pow pow. I'm not going to put those on for now, so we'll just put those to the side. She comes with this sidearm here, but there is no holster, and she doesn't have a backpack, so that's going to have to go off to the side, but it's got a port for a blast effect. Steel core helmet. We've seen this one before. Might as well just go ahead and pop that on so you can have a look. So there you've got female steel core driver if you want, or it could be Quarrel just with a helmet on for when she's riding. But yeah, another option that you have if you wanted a covert steel core figure, you've got one. And she comes with the crossbow, which is, as I said earlier, the same as Retro Scarlet. And if you don't have the Retro Scarlet, this is the arrows, which are the exact same ones that she came with, that come with this set. And last is this little knife, which we're going to pop up here. Now, the interesting thing about her coming with two knives as opposed to the Scarlet figure, which only came with one, is that Quarrel is an expert in Cantonese butterfly knives. Now, I don't know if these are Cantonese butterfly knives. I don't think they are. Maybe this one is. Who knows? But it's a nice touch, and you can see that Lenny and the team definitely lent into the lore of the character through and through with everything that she comes with. All right, so let's get her kitted up and have a look at her before we jump into Falcon. And while I do that, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're enjoying the review so far, please hit the like button. Feel free to share it and subscribe to the channel, because if you don't know, I often tend to get Joe figures a little earlier than some others tend to do. Alright, so there's her with the loadout all kitted up. I also took the liberty of running her under some hot water, and can confirm legs are all good in the hood. Not a problem. This one's still probably a little bit stiff, but I probably didn't run that one under as much as the other one. But crisis averted, all is well in the world. You can see how the arrows sit in the quiver here, if you have never seen those before. I like this figure. I like the colors of it a lot. I think she pops. I think she's a nice addition to the team. One other thing I should point out is here, there we go, she's got the Night Force Griffin logo. It's a bit hard to see. Let me see if I can focus in on it a bit better. Yeah, so there you go. So that's that. Okay, so let's start with Falcon's accessories. You've got this shotgun, which has the collapsible stock. It's all right. It's not my favorite accessory in the line, but you can always replace it if you like. It's got a nice touch to it there, the red on the grip, which I think the original is brown, so you know, leaning into the Night Force alterations. So it's that. The optics, again, if you've got tunnel rat, you would have seen these before. They're nice. Look all right. Range Viper grenade launcher has the rotating barrel. If it wants to rotate, it's a bit hard to get a big fat finger into it, but it does. Giddy. Port for blast effects. Same as a shotgun. You've got the light machine gun, which has the removable ammo box, which just pops in back in like so, or it should. This one is actually really firmly in place, which is nice. I'm not spending a lot of time on these weapons today because, as I pointed out at the start of the review, it is all reuse. So if you're well into the line, you would have seen these before, but if not, you can have a closer look and pause it if you want. Sidearm, pretty sure I've seen this one before. I couldn't tell you where. I don't pay great attention to the details of the revolvers in the classified line, but it's got the extended clip. It's got a hole for a blast effect. Combat knife, definitely one of the bigger bladed edged knives. This one does not want to sit in my hand properly. In the line, which is a nice touch because it goes in to the backpack that came with Falcon. So we might as well have a quick look at that. Obviously, it ties in with the original Falcon figure, the rope, canteens, radio aerial, which I think can come out. I can't remember. It might be firmly in place. I'm not going to pull it out. So yeah, this just goes in here. Fits snug. Not going to fall out. That's the backpack. Steel core head. Steel brigade, depending on how you want to look at it. I like the wings on the side. They're pretty nice touch. Looks pretty good. We'll whip that on there now so you can have a look, because I want to point something out about this. You essentially have yourself a Night Force Steel Core figure now. And sure, he's got, you know, bare arms and whatnot, but something that we've never had before. So there is another option with this set. Last accessories I want to look at, probably the most pointless in this set, are the torches that come with tunnel wrap, which obviously fit into his backpack. Now, I don't think I'm missing anything, but these don't fit on this, and they don't fit anywhere on the figures. So I guess they can hold them, but I think for the most part, most people will probably have these just sitting in their accessory fodder bin. So yeah, that's those. All right, this guy, never opened him, so let's have a look, because I've never seen this Falcon Notorious head sculpt in the flesh. You hear dogs barking in the background, that's just my two cracking off. All right, here he is. I mean, sure, it's not great, is it? We'll have him out of here in a second, because we all want to see what this one looks like on that body compared to this guy. Hi. Slight difference. But while we've got Falcon out, let's have a look at the figure itself. So the first thing I've noticed is this pauldron keeps falling off the upper arm here because it's just attached by one of these. You've got some nice bullet deco on there. On the other arm, you've got the same Griffin logo that the other Night Force guys tend to have. First seen on Big Ben, I think it was, which might look a bit, there it is. That's on the Big Ben figure. Scarf here is removable. It's probably going to be a little bit annoying because it did fall off a second ago. Beret comes off, obviously. See this pauldron, see how it's attached up here? It's not falling down. This one just keeps falling down. Like, get it over the bicep and it might stay up there a bit better. You got some nice detailing on the arms here. It's quite a hairy armed man. Some detailing on the belt and the secondary here. I'm not sure if we've seen this before. I feel like we might have. Please feel free to tell me in the comments. I don't think it's the same as the Range Viper, is it? It might be, actually. It is. It's the Range Viper. Aha, there he is. Yep. Range Viper secondary, just in a different color deco. And that also goes for the legs. You can see it right here. There you go. And the sidearm, holster, and ammo pouches on the other legs. But let's check out his articulation. Forearms are a bit tight. That pauldron does not want to stay up at all, man. That's a... And there goes his beret. Reviewing toys is not a perfect science, let me tell you. I'm just going to take that off because it's going to annoy me. And you know what? I'm going to take this one off and see how it looks without it. Kind of like it a bit better, actually. Sort of just having the one gives him a bit, not as much of a bulky, clunky look. But let's get this up. These arms are quite stiff. Yeah, they are really stiff. Not here, but just going up. They're not moving at all. Anyway, can't barely look down. can look up ever so slightly. Left, right, no problem. Legs, yep, no problem there with that one. Yep, that's all good. But in terms of getting up a bit more, yep, no issues there. However, I want to see, there we go. They're a nice tightness. Drop down hips a little bit. Yep. And now this pauldron also wants to come off. So I'm just going to take it off so we can have a look at him without both. There you go. Alright, so we've got the classified Falcon buck. This should be a seamless fit, folks. As you can see, this is the new head sculpt. Let's just pop it on there and see how we go. There we go, we're on. And that is it. This figure really isn't that great. But as you can see, that's how it looks with the Night Force Falcon head. And you know what? Let's just chuck the Night Force beret on there just for funsies to see how that looks a bit different. And there is the comparison once again. So there you have it. What do you think? Let me know. You guys going to be switching them out? You're going to be keeping the Falcon as is? I guess we all have options. That's the beauty of this line. They give us options. I'm just going to pop that back on there. I'm getting Flint vibes looking at this figure a little bit, like just in this aesthetic without like the pauldrons on. But let's kit him out, make him look a bit more like Falcon. So backpack goes on nicely. Looks good. I like that. Sidearm in here. Well, that's a real tight fit, but it does go in like so. Yeah, the nods aren't going to go over that beret, I can tell you that much. Give him his requisite shotgun if he wants to hold it properly. Go. Not digging that. That arm, see how that you can't really get it into a good pose. That weapon doesn't. I mean, it's not great. It's not. I don't love it. I don't love it at all. You know what? Let's try him with the Range Viper. Oh, this finger is being quite rubbish in terms of getting into the trigger. Yeah, that arm, the muscle in his arm doesn't allow him to really sort of get into a good firing position. See, the Range Viper arm, I'm pretty sure it's different. Let's have a look. The upper is the same, and I think the lower parts are, I don't know, this just feels like it's different. It's hard to know, but this gun does look good. Here goes the beret again. But yeah, it's just not getting into a nice firing position, which is a bit disconcerting. See what I mean? It just pops back out when you try and line it up like this. Watch. See? Anyway, you can always heat it up and see how you go from there. But here's a grenade launcher. Which, yeah, just, again, see how it sits off the arm? It doesn't sit well. I don't like that. Chuck the nods on him. So. Yeah, they look alright. I'll throw his scarf back on. Can't go out into battle without his scarf on. Let's just try these pauldrons on again and see how we go. Yeah, it doesn't want to stay up there. And I think because the webbing is also stopping it a little bit. No, it just falls off. Yeah, that's trash. Let's try the other one again, see how that has better. They almost would have been just better off not even bothering with these and just painting this on the sleeves and just going without, because they let it down a bit. And I mean, you're not losing much without them. All right. Well, look, you know, just for the sake of torches. Yes, he can hold the torch. Are you going to be using them much? Not really, but you have them. Or you have a backup pair for your Tunnel Rat figures. And that is that. So before I compare him to some other figures, I just want to give a shout out to one of my loyal subscribers, gentleman by the name of Edward. You know who you are. You requested to see Falcon with the Range Viper in action. So there you go. He's snuck up on this guy and he's about to make him into a Range Viper kebab. So yeah, there you go. All right, let's get him out of this pose and we'll throw him together with a few other guys. All right, it's not quite a full accompaniment of the Night Force figures because I don't have Tunnel Rat and I don't have Shockwave. I think that's the only ones I'm missing. But as you can see, Falcon and Quarrel do fit in well. Even if the greens are a touch different from what we've seen previously with initially Big Ben and then Shooter and Wolf Spider. But they do fit. I think Quarrel is probably the better fit of these two figures. One thing I will add that in terms of trying to pose this, Falcon's backpack is problematic in terms of the webbing. Secondary, that is the same with the Range Viper. If you have the Range Viper, you'll know that the backpack, you almost can't even breathe on it without it falling off. So just be mindful of that. And again, those pauldrons both fell down multiple times while I was setting up this display. But yeah, that's a good look at them. I think they work well together. Probably a little bit less red. Maybe, I don't know, like, because if you consider the grey, blacks, the yellow that they used here, it's sort of a bit jarring with that. I don't know, maybe, I guess with the steel core helmets on, they'd fit better with that vibe. I don't know, I'm nitpicking a little bit. But yeah, that is them all together, and let's have a look at just Quarrel and Falcon together. Alright, as you can see, I've thrown them both on the ram. And Quarrel looks great on there. Obviously, Falcon is just holding on for dear life. But it can be done. The more and more I play with this Falcon figure, the more and more I feel like we're still waiting for a Falcon figure to really do the original justice. The pauldrons keep falling down. I know I'm sounding like a broken record. He doesn't hold those weapons too fantastic. And then there's all the extra gear that comes with both these figures that they just can't hold. But yeah, like, it's a good set. There's probably a fair amount of bang for your buck, I think it's fair to say. And as I've mentioned earlier, you do have the options, like, a Night Force Scarlet or a Night Force Steel Core. And obviously you can take the noggin off this bloke and throw it on the other Falcon figure. So, it will tick a few of those boxes for people, but I think, personally, for me, Quarrel is a standout figure of the set. And, yeah, Falcon, well, I think we're still going to be waiting for a retro, maybe. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the review. It's probably a little bit longer than normal, this one, because there's a bit to get through. And thank you for watching. Again, if you're new to the channel, please hit the like button. Please feel free to share or subscribe to the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. And I dare say, I reckon that might have something else new coming pretty soon, with a bit of luck. So watch this space. And until next time, say hi to your dogs for me, and have yourself a crackerjack day.